of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. It paused military aid to Kyiv on Monday following a dramatic breakdown in relations in the Oval Office last week when Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky was told to leave after an angry meeting with US President Donald Trump. It remains unclear if the pause on intelligence sharing is partial or complete and how long it will remain in effect. 15 people in South Korea were injured, 2 of them seriously, after a pair of fighter jets accidentally dropped 8 bombs in a civilian district during a live-fire military exercise. The incident involving the Air Force KF-16 aircraft took place in the city of Pocheon, near the border with North Korea. South Korea's Air Force said that it was investigating the incident and apologized for the damage, adding it would provide compensation to those affected. While shells from living firing exercises sometimes land near civilian residences, they rarely cause injuries. Investigators are yet to determine why the second jet dropped its bombs, adding all live fire exercises will now be suspended. Back home in Nigeria, military men today invaded the offices of Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company. VOP News gathered that the personnel in uniform forced their way into the company headquarters in Ikeja, Lagos at about 7:40 a.m. In a viral video, military personnel were seen wielding arms within the premises, while more than 7 staff members were kneeling and others assaulted. This comes a day after Ikeja Electric disconnected supply to the Nigerian Air Force logistics base in Ikeja. The incident has instilled fear among company staff, with many hiding for safety. The National Human Rights Commission (NHRC) has revealed that complaints of human rights violations in Nigeria rose by 25% in February 2025. NHRC Executive Secretary Dr. Tony Ojukwu, at the presentation of the February 2025 Human Rights Dashboard in Abuja, said 205,364 complaints of right violations were received by the Commission in the month. In January 2025, the NHRC recorded 169,850 complaints of right violation. The NHRC Human Rights Dashboard provides a breakdown of the human rights situation in the country. The dashboard is presented on a monthly basis, noting that Nigeria is experiencing a disturbing trend whereby human rights complaints received by the NHRC has continued to rise. Ojukwu said the February dashboard highlighted mass killings and abductions in the northwest and north central, court-related killings, inter- and intra-communal violence, extrajudicial killings by the police and armed forces, resurgence of Boko Haram-related attacks, and increase in rape cases. A total of 341 complaints related to rape were recorded in February 2025. There were also 136 cases of sexual violence. In the same vein, the Commission received 6,954 complaints of domestic violence in the month. Highlighting human rights issues in focus in February, the NHRC raised the alarm over a rise of suicide cases and attacks on academic communities, in addition to regular topics such as cultism, extrajudicial killings, and deaths by accident. The certified true copy (CTC) of the Supreme Court ruling on the ongoing political crisis in Rivers State has clarified that the 27 lawmakers accused of defecting from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the All Progressives Congress (APC) never actually switched parties. The revelation challenges previous claims that the legislators had lost their seats due to defection. The Supreme Court ruling delivered last Friday also took a firm stance against the Rivers State government by ordering the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), the Accountant General of the Federation, and other relevant agencies to withhold funds from the state government. The court accused the government of flagrant disobedience to judicial orders and insisted that it must first comply with the law before funds could be released. The CTC of the judgment provided a detailed explanation of why the 27 lawmakers remained valid members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. According to the court, no legal process was followed to declare their seats vacant, and their alleged defection was not backed by any evidence. The Supreme Court has also ruled that Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara had already undermined the State House of Assembly before Speaker Martin Amewule and 26 other lawmakers defected from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the All Progressives Congress (APC). The Apex Court in the judgment delivered by Justice Emmanuel Akomaye Ajim held that the concurrent findings of both the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal proved that Governor Fubara engaged in illegal and unconstitutional activities to subvert the State Assembly, violate the Nigerian Constitution, and prevent an anticipated impeachment by opposition lawmakers. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, today deployed bomb detectors to the Federal High Court in Abuja ahead of resumption of trial of former Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello on alleged money laundering. The bomb detectors, who were accompanied by other fully armed operatives of the commission, did not allow anyone, including staff of the court, to enter the courtroom until a thorough search for possible explosive items had been conducted. All those who have no direct functions were turned back from accessing the courtroom. At the entrance of the court 8, where the trial is to be conducted, lawyers to the federal government and the former governor were politely told to exercise patience for routine security to be carried out. At the end of the search, the courtroom was opened for only those who had matters in the courtroom. In a recent development, the Benue State Police Command has confirmed the release of the 3 female students abducted from Joseph Sawantaka University of Agriculture in Makodi. The students, who were kidnapped on February 25, 2025, while returning from a night study session on campus. This was disclosed in the news flash shared by the Nigerian Television Authority on X, formerly called Twitter, today. Following the abduction, the university management ordered a 1-week mid-semester break to address security challenges. This was detailed in an internal memo titled Security Situation and Campus, issued the day after the abduction and signed by the registrar, Dr. John David. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, and the Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, had called for intensified efforts to secure their release. Details of the release are yet to be disclosed. You're currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a short break and then head into the news analysis segment. Do stay tuned.
Hello.
Welcome back. You're still listening to VOP 90.3 FM. This is the World News at 12. I have Mr. Edosa Okumbo, former NUJ State Treasurer, Benin, and former Chief Press Secretary to the Oredo Local Government Area Chairman. Mr. Okumbo, thank you for joining me. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you here. I want to actually talk about certain issues in the news, beginning with the military invading the Ikeja Electric office in Lagos today and assaulting workers over a disconnection that was carried out to the barracks, right? And while we're talking about this, there is a report that human rights violations increased by 25% all across the country in February. Is this really the right way to address the situation after this disconnection happened? By the military invading the offices and actually assaulting workers, making them kneel down. There are viral videos where you can see the workers in fear for their life.
Thank you very much. It's a very unfortunate incident. And I must say that it's very barbaric in this 21st century for men in uniform to continue to act because they believe they are above the law. Nigeria is a democratic nation, and as such, everything must be subjected to the authorities of the civil government in power. Now, it is not out of place for military or whatever security agencies to be owning electricity distribution companies. But the law, there is no law in Nigeria as of today that gives them immunity in case payment of fees. And therefore, they are subject to paying of their bills as and when due. You know, everything boils down to corruption in the system, which has, you know, bedeviled Nigeria as a nation since independence. Everybody acts with impunity. Everybody do anything they like, saying that nothing will happen. So the government comes up to deal decisively with this situation, I think the onus lies on the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Defense Staff to call their men to order immediately. It is barbaric, it's condemnable, and it's not something that should be tolerated in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Okumbo. You know, one would ask why owe in the first place, right? What is it exactly? What is the reason why they're owing, if that is the case, why the light was disconnected in the first place? Why not actually go and check the root cause of this situation?
Yes, it is the mentality. Like I said at the beginning, they believe they have immunity or they are exempted from payment of bills. No industry, no organization, no ministry, no agency, the military inclusive, is exempted from paying for the work you have been given. You have been supplied light, you are using light 247. And you know that in Nigeria, as we speak today, we have a maximum of 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts, which is really underestimated for a population of over 250 million people. The military, being part of the society, being part of Nigeria, I think their population, they are about 500,000. And then you are using the facilities of electricity distribution company. And then you don't want to pay. How will the country move forward? So that mentality that, we are military men, we should be, or we are exempted. You have not. Government has not said we are exempted from it. So why are you taking the laws into your hands? Why are you assuming that you should be exempted? Yes, you are doing essential services, which we agree, we appreciate. But does it stop others from working? Does it stop other agencies from working? If you don't pay, I don't pay, the other one don't pay, how will the electricity distribution survive? They run on diesel. They run on vehicles. They move from place to place. They buy cables. They do everything to supply you light. And then you want it free of charge. And then they now come. Maybe they've served the notice of payment. They refuse to acknowledge it. Then they have now come to use their own method of forcing you to pay by disconnecting your office. And then the next thing, you are attacking them, you are beating them, harassing them. It's very, very barbaric and condemnable.
There was actually a lot of chaos with the properties being destroyed and the workers being harassed. And there is a certain school of thought. There are people who believe that because of the vulnerability of the barracks, that Ikeja Electric should not have disconnected their light in the first place, that they need the light. They should have sought other means of getting them to pay if that's the reason for the disconnection.
Can I get you again? He said.
Yes, Mr. Okumbo, can you hear me?
Can I get you again? Come again.
Yes. I'm saying that properties. Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Okumbo. Can you hear me? I'm with you, Mr. Okumbo. I'm with you, Mr. Okumbo. Yes, can you hear me now?
Hello?
Mr. Okumbo, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I didn't get that question.
Great. I'm saying that the military actually went in and destroyed certain properties belonging to Ikeja Electric, right? And there are certain people who think that Ikeja Electric was wrong to have disconnected their lights. They should have sought other means of resolving whatever differences that they had, especially since due to the vulnerability of the barracks and the fact that they need that light.
I think I've said so. I said they may have exhausted all their mechanism of resolving this matter. And then they fail to yield to them. You know, using force, the Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company does not have power. They are just armless. So they may have used persuasion, dialogue, and everything. So no avail. Before they go and connect, they have also disconnected. We have asked us that they have even disconnected the seat of power. Also rock in Nigeria. And what did the president do? He called the permanent secretary and asked us, for our pay. Nobody is exempted. So they have used, exhausted all their mechanism, persuasion, dialogue, and everything. And this people refuse to budge. Perhaps the reason is that money that has been voted for it has been diverted. It's part of it. That's corruption. Money that has been devoted for it has been diverted by certain powerful forces, which they cannot measure. And therefore, they now want to use force. And it will not work. They will still pay. And they will replace those things that they damage. That is what the law is. Nobody is exempted. Nobody is above the law. That's my take.
All right. I want to quickly talk about the fact that human rights violation in Nigeria rose by up to 25% in February. 25% is let's say 1/4/100. That is a very, very high number. This is according to the National Human Rights Commission. So it's not like we manufactured these figures, right? And the database is saying this is due to mass killings, abductions in certain parts of the country, court-related killings, communal violence, and even extrajudicial killings by the police and the armed forces, including resurgence of Boko Haram-related attacks. Look at these human rights violations, and in the face of such a high number, how can Nigerians continue to have faith in the current administration when they say we are working on security and we are ensuring the protection of your lives and properties?
It's a very complex situation we find ourselves. The human rights groups, they are doing their best, but how best is their effort yielding results? Because we are in a country, I'm sorry to say, we are in a very lawless country, a country where the citizens, 90% of the citizens are bad followers of the leaders. And therefore, holding the leaders accountable is not just enough. We also must hold ourselves as followers, as citizens. We must hold ourselves responsible for whatever is happening today. Yes, there is insurgency, there is insecurity. It's no human beings that are involved. Kidnapping, I keep insisting, kidnapping does not work unless there is an insider. There's an insider. That's why kidnapping can take place. Somebody who is insider is monitoring you, and it has been proven. Most suspects arrested have confessed that they are either in relation to the person, that even children have organized kidnapping of their parents. Wives have organized kidnapping of their husbands. Vice versa. So it has become a jungle justice issue. It has become an issue that has bedeviled the nation and taken us, taking us unaware. Boko Haram started very small in a small community in Borno, but today it's in how many states? Herdsmen came. They said, okay, it was Buhari that brought herdsmen. Buhari has since left office now. Then you now have unknown government. You now have bandits. You now have illegal miners. So these are the issues. And this is where security, our security agencies should rise up to the occasion. Not defend its citizens, because the first and foremost responsibility of every country is to preserve and protect life and property. So that is my take.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okunbo. I want to quickly go to Rivers State. Are you with me, Mr. Okunbo?
You said?
Yes. Let's talk about the River State situation, right? So, Governor Fubara talked about how he's been waiting for the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment before he would actually know how to go ahead and respond to whatever is contained in that certified true copy. There are reports that the CTC has been obtained, and the Supreme Court ruling on the ongoing political crisis in River State actually clarified that the 27 lawmakers who are accused of defecting to the from PDP to the APC never actually defected, that they never switched parties. That is what the Supreme Court is saying. So it more or less is challenging previous claims that the legislators lost their seats due to defection, because this is something that Governor Fubara himself has really been pursuing. The Supreme Court is saying they never defected. There is no evidence to show that they defected. But we know that the 27 lawmakers did come together and say they were leaving the PDP and going to the APC. So when the Supreme Court said there is no evidence to show that they never defected, what then is the reason for all of this debacle in the first place? Because this has been going on for over a year now.
Well, it's a situation whereby it's politics that is at play. Politics is at play, and the gladiators are having a field day, and we are as political commentators, we are working with keen interest. However, I want to say that the governor saying that he's waiting for the CTC copy is buying time. He's buying time because, and he's trying to waste his time to see whether there will be another route for him. But I do not think there is another escape route. Supreme Court has made pronouncement, and that is the end of the matter. Like they said, I watched the event clearly, and I've been following it along. It was absorbed for you to be using 4 purported members of the House of Assembly to be running a state like Rivers State. Rivers State has the second highest budget in Nigeria after Lagos State.
But Mr. Okumbo, would you actually blame Governor Fubara for that when those lawmakers said they were defected? Now the court is saying no legal process was followed to actually declare their seats vacant. So they just said it verbally or orally that we are defecting. They never instituted any legal process, throwing the Rivers State House of Assembly into a crisis.
If you follow the event very well, the APC has come out to say they don't have their names in their register.
Yes, they did.
They don't have their names in their register. So what evidence do you now have to accuse that those 27 members have defected to APC? Anybody can hold anybody's flag. They can hold any flag. Even as a citizen of Nigeria, I can decide to hold the flag of Togo, Cameroon, and anything. Does it not make me a Togolese? The fact that you saw the baby APC flag, does it make them members of the party? It's not strong enough. And that is why the Supreme Court said there is no evidence before them that suggests that these people have defected to APC. And then the Supreme Court has also ruled that the governor does not have the power to declare any seat vacant. It is the court that declares seats of lawmakers vacant. It's not the governor. The fact that the person is defected from one party to another, the governor does not have the power to declare that seat vacant. Same thing the Senate, House of Reps. No, but it is only the court of competent jurisdiction that can pronounce vacancy in any elected office, as far as legislation is concerned in this country. So they should go back to their constitution.
You know, the Supreme Court also ruled, Mr. Okumbo, that Governor Sim Fubara had already undermined the State House of Assembly before the Speaker Martin Amewule and other lawmakers said they were defecting from PDP to the APC. That is to say, it was due to the actions. It was due to the actions of Governor Sim Fubara that led those lawmakers to say that they want to defect. Is this a position you agree with?
Can you comment?
Yes, Mr. Okumbo. So the Supreme Court, as part of its ruling, said Governor Sim Fubara had already undermined the Rivers State House of Assembly before the Speaker and 26 other lawmakers decided to defect from PDP to APC. Now, I'm saying this is more or less saying that it was Governor Sim Fubara's actions that led to the reaction of those 27 lawmakers. Is that a position that you agree with?
Definitely. You remember that Rivers people woke up one morning and saw the House of Assembly brought down, demolished. That is the taxpayers' money being wasted. Because Fubara at that time feared that because he has lost the majority of those lawmakers to his opponent, who is the current minister of the EFCC, that he now is afraid that if he allows sitting, they will remove him, they will commence the fitness and remove him, which was possible anyway. But was that enough for you to now break down the assembly complex? And then you now took 4 people to a government house and constitute House of Assembly illegally and is using them to pass budget, first budget, second budget, even when the president of the country invited all of them, stakeholders in Rivers State, leaders of thought and everything, former governors, and then the two of them brought them to round table. They had an agreement, okay, go and present the budget. You still refuse. The Supreme Court now issued a statement. Go and represent the budget. And you defy the director of the Supreme Court. It's a complete defiance of the law. And I think he should even be charged for contempt. But because he has immunity now.
Governor Fubara should be charged for contempt?
They cannot do anything. We have to wait for 4 years.
So after his 4 years, he should be charged for contempt?
To say that he undermined their judgment, their directive and everything. And I think I should just plead the case to let the rule of law operate in Rivers State. He should forget about ego. He should forget about the fight between them and Wike. He should take the interest of Rivers people at heart. Those are the people that gave him mandate. And he should protect their interest. That is my take.
You know, while we're talking about all of this, gunmen attacked Governor Fubara's supporters in Rivers State and injured several of them amid the political tension in the state. At least 4 people were shot when suspected members of a local vigilante group, that's the Obio Akpo Security Planning and Advisory Committee, attacked a peaceful gathering of youths in Ikwere local government area. That was yesterday on Wednesday. So some of the youths gathered together, the supporters of Governor Sim Fubara. They assembled at a roundabout to express solidarity with the governor when the gunmen stormed the area and opened fire on them. Right, you're talking about how Governor Fubara may be the reason for all of this political tension in Rivers State, but look at the dimension that it is taking and how it is affecting people who are not even in the government house.
If allowing himself to be distracted, yes, the tension is rising in Rivers State. If I were him, I would let the matter slide. You know, he came out on air to say he will obey the Supreme Court. He will implement their directive. At the same time, he was also boasting that a time will come, you ask the youth to strike. But as an executive governor of the state, the chief security officer of the state, making such wide statements that it's not as if you don't know what you are doing, that you are just keeping cool. By the time we call you give directive, he was addressing the youth. And give directive for them to act. Act on what ground? On what ground are they acting? You know, that was unbecoming of a state governor. And it's very disappointing that King Fubara could descend to that abysmal level to be making such a thing. I respect him as a governor. He has done well in the 2 years, despite the crisis and everything. But he should mind his circumstances. So the shooting yesterday wasn't a surprise to me. After the Akpo local government, I expected it. I didn't know that it could be in that level. But I know that sooner than later, the crisis will escalate, and then you will begin to pick. If there is no taking, you begin to pick dead bodies on the street.
Should it actually escalate or reduce at this point, since the Supreme Court has given its ruling on the situation? Should it escalate or should the tensions actually be reducing?
I'm not getting.
I said, Mr. Okumbo, you're saying that the tensions may continue to escalate, and I'm saying, should there be an escalation or a reduction?
Unless the governor allows it to slide. The Minister of FCC, Nation Wike, is not in Port Harcourt, it's in Abuja. Yes, he may be having with people on ground, but if the governor, as the chief security officer, will maintain decorum and allow issues to slide, and then begin to implement the directive of the Supreme Court, there will be no need to, there will be no reason why the crisis will escalate. It will not. But when you begin to issue threats, today you say A, tomorrow you say B, okay, they gave you ultimatum to submit the budget. You say you did not get their letter. And the ultimatum expired. You said you did not get their letter. Now they have reissued the ultimatum to you again. Then they also now came and said, you didn't screen your commissioners. They did screen your commissioners, which is true. You can't use 3 people to screen commissioners. You did, so represent your commissioners for screening. And he said no. So who is farming the ember of crisis? It's the governor. To me, it's the governor. So issue, and you, on one hand, you are doing that. On the other hand, you say you are ready to implement. What is the directive of the Supreme Court? Represent the budget, and then all actions we are taking since they have declared the election are void because they were done with 3 people. Appointment of procurement board members. He did it without screening of members. Appointment of RISEC, that is Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. Appointment of their members was done without recourse to the House of Assembly. Because the 3 members of Assembly you claim you have been declared illegal, none are void. So why don't you now come and extend olive branch to these people? They are your people. They are the governor. You know what to do. They are your people. Come to the round table. Okay, we have fought enough. Let us now work together. I'm sorry for what I've done. That is what makes a statesman. I'm sorry for what we have done. That's why we also apologize. And the River State will move on. Represent your commissioner. They will screen them. They know you are not going to work with angels from heaven. So they will represent. They will screen whoever you bring, and they give them to you. They let them start to work properly. Then the procurement board will be properly constituted. So that is the conduit type for cyclonic state point. The procurement board, because that's where they pick bogus prices for things they want to do in every state. So it must be scrutinized. It must be subjected to the ego eye of the people. That's why we need to represent the members. Then the rest yet, represent the members for screening, and then the state will move on. Those who have come up to say, by August 9, they are doing local government election. Fine. They are giving notice. Let them now, you can reconstitute the body and let them start work. That's my take.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okumbo. I really do appreciate your presence, your analysis, and your insight. It makes all the difference. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes. Have an amazing day. You have been listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that there was panic as military invaded Ikeja Electric offices and assaulted workers. Report indicates 25% surge in human rights violations in Nigeria. Supreme Court document confirms 27 pro-Wike Rivers lawmakers did not defect to the APC. And U.S. passes intelligence sharing with Ukraine. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Chioma Innocent. Please follow our social media handles at VOP903FM. For coverage of your live event and brand news mentioned on our news bulletins, do send a mail to news@voiceofthepeople.ng. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.